Hold on. Recording.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. I'm Andrea Williams and Kemba Williams, my partner, is joining me tonight. Our goal is to teach you some of the secrets that we have learned over time in investing in real estate so that you can be successful and build wealth. We want you to do it now, starting now, right in the pandemic. Yes,
Yeah.
I know it sounds counterintuitive to be spending and buying. When we're a little uncertain, but it's a moment in times of great opportunities, right? So whether you're a first-time buyer or a first-time investor, it's always good to take advantage of opportunities. And we're going to talk about some of that tonight. We're going to share with you tools that you as an owner or an investor can use to build wealth. And there's about 11 tonight tidbits that we'll share that helps you understand how to be successful as a real estate investor. And so a little bit first about ourselves. Kemba and I are moms. We have 3 children each. We are doing this as a family. We've been blessed to sort of come together. We married into the family. She's married to my husband's brother. And we discovered through our family ties that we both are very passionate about real estate. And we decided, since we've agreed that each respective family would build wealth through real estate, that we would do it jointly. And we formed our company, Keen Group. Uh, about 2 years ago, we incorporated, and we've been investing in real estate for well over 25 years combined. And so we want to show all of the people that we love dearly, our community, Black community, women, and anyone else that is interested in investing in real estate. We want to help them learn how to do that successfully with less bumps and bruises along the way like we may have had. We want to build your confidence so that you can build your portfolio. And of course, we're going to share those secrets with you. Some of them we're sharing tonight, and some of them we might ask you to join us in our groups and in our free, educational tools that we offer so that you can come and join the journey, join us. What's
Absolutely.
your why? Kemba, what's your why?
Well, I have two little people who are relying on me to, actually three, I say two, I mean three, who are relying on me to provide and help them grow and help them, be successful in life and have a future. So that's one huge why. And, myself, I want to travel, I want to do things, help my parents as they age. I have so many whys, and real estate has helped me achieve a lot of that to date. And I think that everybody else can also use real estate as a tool to help them move forward and grow and build.
Well, to achieve their goals, achieve their whys, I believe, I mean, I'm doing it for similar reasons for my family and myself, and to change, the generations to come, right? I definitely don't want it to be just something that, is beneficial to myself and my kids alone, but to their kids and their kids' kids, right? So I want to be able to transfer, this knowledge, this wealth that we've built to go beyond the next 2 generations and on.
Yes, absolutely. So you think about your why as we talk through this info session and we share with you tools. Think about how you can use that to achieve your why. Andrea, a little bit about our services, our company, Keen.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are definitely experts in many areas, and largely because we started building our portfolio so many years ago. And we have learned along the way a lot of things, and we want to share through our business now, Keen. We want to offer education, coaching, membership, podcasts. We do a variety of ways to teach and impart to you the knowledge that you need to be successful and confident as a real estate investor or a real estate owner. We also are able to help you tenant your property, whether you're looking to take on short-term or long-term tenants. We can help you make those units that you have furnished or unfurnished. And we offer a number of consulting services along with access to additional experts beyond us, because we are not experts in everything. We definitely use the experts of realtors, mortgage brokers, lawyers, accountants, and the like to help us build a successful real estate business. And so we partner with affiliates and individuals who might support your portfolio and show you how you can be successful.
Absolutely.
And we know that what most people feel that we've seen over time is that they don't have enough information or enough knowledge to be successful in real estate. And so with that confidence and that knowledge, they are more likely to purchase and get involved in real estate.
Yes. And as a personal story, Andrea, like when I started out, I felt like I had a mentor in a cousin of mine who was ahead of me. So we shared and we talked a lot about it. But I feel like having even more mentorship and more information out there and seeing other people like myself, buying real estate and sharing their stories and how they build wealth, I think that would have helped me feel more confident sooner to jump in. And, it's when you think about real estate, um, it's not necessarily the time you are starting. It's the sooner you start, the better. Basically, the sooner you start, the better for you to get into real estate.
Yeah.
Okay. One of our success stories.
Yeah, it's always exciting to have owners, and this one shows generational wealth, which we love because that's part of why we started this ourselves. So this father and his wife has been able to help their sons buy in Toronto, of all places, a property that will definitely build wealth into this generation for their sons, but and on for their
Absolutely.
children.
Absolutely.
So let's, as I said, let's not wait. Let's not put it off. Like, we know that real estate is a booming and a very strong industry to be in and a great way to build wealth. And you probably know that if you own already, or if you've heard of the price changes in, the last year alone, but definitely over the last decade. So starting now, because, it's always better to begin now and not delay and put off into the future. And as we've established, real estate is an excellent way to build wealth. It is the way that many individuals who are millionaires became so. And so if the stats say 90%, 9 out of 10 people become millionaires through real estate, that means you too can become a millionaire and build substantial wealth through real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I want to be a millionaire or a multimillionaire, and I'm sure you do too. So please, if you're thinking about how to acquire $1 million, this is one of the ways to begin.
Absolutely.
And Kemba.
Yes. So, where you start is always with the plan, with the idea of where you want to end up, right? And so with rule number 1, it's to have very specific and smart goals. So, that might sound like, oh, of course, I have goals, but when we talk about setting goals, we want you to be specific, we want you to have a measurable in there. So I want to an example would be, I want to buy a certain type of property and I want it to be, have certain features. You want to make that achievable. So you don't want to start out, if you know where you want to get that property, you need to have a budget. You might need to get an idea of how much you can afford, and so that's achievable for you. Relevant, so it makes sense to your family and your goals, and you set a time. Whenever we're working towards something that is timed, it's like a race. So it's like we have a goal in mind and we put a time on it, we're usually a lot more able to achieve that. So set your SMART goals. That's rule number 1.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone that I know that has been successful, whether it be in real estate or in business, that did not set goals and work towards them, right? So if you are planning to be successful at anything, write those goals down and follow this SMART goal setting rule.
Mm-hmm. So, and just to give examples, when I was looking for and thinking about buying my first property, we were very clear we needed to have at least 3 units because it was myself and my cousin partnering together to buy the property. We wanted it to be close to transit, easy for us to get to and from work. Um, we needed to live together, but we had, our lives, so we wanted to have separate spaces, although we shared for many years anyway. It was a fun time. And we also wanted to earn income, so we had to have tenants, hence the 3 units. So that was a clear goal. It took us 2 years to find the right property, and it was great. So being clear about what you're looking for, itemizing the things you need to find in the property, being flexible though too with the market, depending on, maybe you have to change locations, you have to, adjust to be able to achieve those goals, but you know exactly what you're looking for. What's your top priority? Andrea, what about you?
Yeah, for my first property, yeah, it was different. I already had my first child. I was single and starting out as a single mom. So I wanted to have something that I could afford. I hadn't even started my first job as yet. And so, but I knew what my income was going to be. So, different times back in the 90s where you could buy with just a letter of confirmation of job. So I bought a townhouse in Mississauga where I did have easy access to the highway because I needed to travel into Toronto to work. And I was able to buy the house for 100,000 back then. Wow. I mean, today that doesn't exist. But I felt like I needed to buy and own something below my income so that it was affordable. And if I ever hit hard times, I was 22 years old, it would kind of work in my favor in that I would be able to manage the mortgage and manage the cost of that property. It was a great way to fuel and fund the purchase of my second home when I found my husband and married and sort of settled, decided we wanted to get something bigger. So it was, I mean, a cute little place to start. And I definitely didn't have any income from it like Kemba did, but it was attainable. It was something I could afford, and I was excited, and it was really my dream home.
And your dreams can change over time.
And it has. It's definitely changed over
It
time.
has. And, as people are setting their goals and you think, well, I would like a mansion by the lake with 2 pools and a hot tub, that's a great goal. But maybe you need to start with stepping stones like a townhouse like this, and then, move up and move up and move up over time, especially depending on your age and where you're starting. If you can buy that pool house, by the lake right away, we
Go
encourage
through,
you to do it. But sometimes, you have to take steps to get to that ultimate goal. So
yeah, because I mean, from here, my husband was a car fanatic, wanted a garage, wanted a driveway, and clearly I didn't have a garage or a driveway here, so it was definitely something that we lived together for a bit in here, and it worked, and then we bought our dream home, right? So another dream. I have lots of dreams along the way. It changes, like Emma said. So. And, what are your goals? You have to think about what are they? I mean, it might be to have your dream car or like a home, a mansion, I don't know, or a home with 5 bedrooms and 3 washrooms and whatever, right? Or it might be to have a destination property.
yes.
Many of us think of over time what we want to gain as we build ourselves and, achieve what we want to with our jobs and our incomes. We want freedom of time, we want freedom of money and relationships and purpose. And so that we can have the opportunity to do things that we want to with ourselves and our lives. And we don't want to be restricted and bound by maybe jobs or jobs that only pay and allow certain lifestyles. And so, think what your goals are and think through how could, real estate or your passion in some other area allow you to accomplish those goals.
Can I tell you a secret dream of mine,
Mhm.
which is still yet to come true, but I think real estate will help me get there? I always envision a house by the beach where the doors are wide open and there's a breeze and the sun is shining. It's warm but not too hot, and I can, relax and read and just be at peace. And when I need to get back to work, I can, get back to work. I tend to like being busy, but so I don't want to be, completely just reading all day, but um,
Mhm.
I can just envision that relaxation of just having the sea breeze and somewhere in the Caribbean. That's
Yes, well, I was envisioning the Caribbean with, warm and beach and yeah. So yeah, I don't have that same vision. I mean, I do love the water, so I want to be close to it and not far off. I don't have to sit right on it because I just don't like some of the where I see on the property over time because of the water. But and I'm obsessive compulsive, so it needs to look
you have
and
to let it
feel right over
go.
time.
No,
So
I get it. I get it. So each person's dream is different.
yeah,
And
naturally. But I know that it
naturally,
would include, being close to water or having access to the tropical feel of, the Caribbean.
yeah. So you think about your goals and think about what's driving you and envision that place that brings you peace and happiness and see how real estate can definitely help you get there. Rule number two.
Yeah, so using like a lot of people come to real estate and or, trying to accomplish their goals and think, well, I need money. Well, in real estate, you can really get started not even having the capital or the money, and you can use other people's money. And I mean, in most cases, even when you have some of your own, you still have to use and leverage somewhat and utilize the bank to help finance, unless you have cash. I mean, if you have 1 million and 2 million, you can definitely do it. But if you want to carry it further and invest it and have it work harder for you, you might want to utilize other people's money, like the banks or your family, or the sort of relationships that you may have that allows you to partner with others, right?
Yeah. And Andrea, I mean, the folks that we talk to, like how many people have we talked to? Like, yeah, I started out with $1 million in the bank.
No,
I
not,
haven't.
not from our community and not from many people that I know, unless they previously owned, right? They don't have that capital.
Yeah, and even families that are well-to-do in our community, many of the kids don't start out with $1 million in the bank anyway. So it's a building, it's growing, it's helping everyone get there, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. So your
So
first purchase.
purchasing your first.
Mhm.
Everyone wants to have their first home, or most people desire that, even if it's not to live in it, maybe, but to own it and to have it generate income. But if you want to buy it as a first-time buyer, then it's the rules that we know work well in and most of Ontario and Canada is 5% down. And so if you're buying a $500,000 property that you've been pre-approved for, you're going to need your down payment to be 5% of that 500,000. And so that works out to 25,000. But don't forget, you'll have some closing costs, typically somewhere around 1 to 4%. And so that could be as much as 15,000. So really about 40,000, to get in on a $500,000 property. But love it. Look what happens to your property if you hold on to it for the next 5 years. It will grow to 638,000. And what you put in was 25,000, but look at how much you've been able to amass over time with, this is 5% return on your money. And we've seen in this area, the Toronto area that we are living in, that 5% is fairly conservative, and typically you're getting probably more like double digits. In fact, I think year over year, it's probably like 20% return. So you can definitely move, that 25,000 up into, the 300,000 in 5 to 10 years. And so you can make your money really work hard for you. And you can do that even as a first-time investor. So you have the benefit of, maybe now as a first-time investor, using some of the capital or the equity that you've accumulated in your first property, and you can turn that into, money that you can either pull or borrow in the form of a home equity line of credit and add that to your purchase of an investment property. So say you got a $750,000 approval, you would now need 150 down payment. Remember, you're taking it from the equity from the property previous that you own and bought, and you maybe need about 25,000 in closing costs. But look what happens in 5 years at 5% on that property. You bought it at 750, it's now grown to 957,000. Amazing. This is how, with first, second, and, maybe just two properties, you can easily be now a multimillionaire, right? Because you now have properties. If you hold on to these, pass them on, you've definitely created a substantial legacy. And maybe, you want to know, how can you do that and build more, right? Kemba, right? How can you build more? Well, we know that the benefit that we've had of working together as a family and working with others in this industry, since we've started our company, that it's great to do it in groups, like a joint venture where we bring together a pool together, 3 to 5 or more people that have resources. Like maybe each of us come together with 50 to 100,000, and now we have the down payment on an small apartment building. We have the closing costs of 30,000 that we will need to finalize that deal. But look at that, $1 million approval, and we bought, and now 5 years later, 5% in growth, and we have a $1.28 million property. Pretty substantial. If this is all we ever did, we've definitely set ourselves and our family up for success. And that's what we want to teach you how to do.
Absolutely.
And Kemba, maybe you can show what else you can do, like how that HELOC can be put to work in different ways. And it doesn't all have to be in real estate.
Yeah. And so a lot of people right now are starting out. You may already own a property. So you want to see, how do I get that equity that I've built up over time to work for me? First would be starting with getting the equity or access to it in the form of a HELOC. So HELOC being home equity line of credit, and then taking those funds to then invest in something else. So you have options in where you invest or how you invest that. You can put it into a property, and the equity will grow at 5% or greater, like we said. And over 10 years, you've gone from owning a $500,000 property to owning an $800,000 property, 814 when you think of that. And most likely the mortgage has paid down. So the return there is huge. We don't show it on this slide, but there's a lot of return in there, because you don't owe 500 anymore. You own likely a lot less than that. And then there's putting that same money into a passive investment, which would grow to maybe 250,000 over a 10-year period. So now you've more than doubled your money. And the last way would be to be an active investor as well, by pooling your money and going into something larger. So you may not be able to buy $1 million property with that 100,000, but you can partner with 2 or 3 or 4 other folks, and then bring that maybe 400,000 if you have 4 people into buying a multifamily or some other real estate investment that will grow. And over 10 years, you've now multiplied that to 600,000. So all amazing ways
That's
to
pretty substantial, and the mortgage pay down, right? So that's a pretty
and the
substantial
mortgage pay
amount of
down,
money.
exactly. So
to
although
share.
it feels like, or it sounds like it can be impossible, what does Ari say? What does Ari call it?
Yeah, I'm possible.
I'm
So
possible.
the word impossible is, like, when you look at it, it's saying I am possible. And we truly believe that you are able to do the things that you may think you can't do right now. We just have to teach them to you and show you how you can do that. Even how to get, in with no capital for the down payment. Okay, so maybe share. I mean, saving is not going to be like Kemba's going to show you here how to save, and that we should always be saving. But saving is not the way to make you wealthy and rich, but you definitely need to build some really good habits along the way.
It definitely isn't the fast track way, but when you're starting out, being able to spend less than you earn is an important tool to help you build and grow and get started. Because even when we think that there are government programs out there to help you with your down payment, which there are, you may still be responsible for closing costs. And as we said, closing costs could be up to like 1 to 4% of your purchase price, and therefore you need that money to help you cover that cost if you don't have another way to get it. So saving, and you can save on your own. Say you can put $500 a month away. That's a lot. Some people, that sounds like a whole lot of money to put away on a monthly
Mhm.
basis, and I get that. So if you want to buy and you want to partner, you can say to family members, friends who you're thinking of buying together, you guys can split that up. So can you afford $250 a month? If you add a third person, then it's $175 a month that you all put together. You put in a joint account and you save it, and you use that towards the property that you can all leverage, whether it be you're all going to live in it or you're going to use it in some way and all benefit from that property. So saving is an important tool to remember and not just set aside, because it will help you, um, and partnering will help you um, to get to your goals maybe faster than you think. So rule number 3, save. And
And this is, just a great way to show you that, I mean, definitely saving on your own makes sense. But when you buy a property, you can, multiply, in huge numbers, the gains, right? And so this is just a personal, 2 properties in our personal portfolio that show you what our 10-year challenge looks like. If you were to have the opportunity to bought 10 years ago, which some of you have, and you held on to it till 2021, oh, look at the numbers. This detached home in Brampton, worth 550,000 in 2011, is now worth 1.25 million in 2021. Maybe even more, because like, just put it on the market, and these, the buyers out there are just, they're emotionally driven, and so they're definitely scooping up what they can. And so look at that 227% return on that investment. You just, you can't go wrong. And of course, the mortgage is paid down substantially, right? So that you own a substantial asset, probably $1 million already of equity in this property. The 2011 semi-detached home, also in Brampton, 400,000, now worth 950,000. I mean, huge gains, right? And this is all in 10 years, so 238% return. Mortgage is substantially reduced at this point. And so again, 2 properties alone, and you've accomplished your goal of being a multimillionaire and building a legacy that, well, I mean, you're taking care of in your lifetime, but you're definitely going to be able to have that transfer from generation to generation, because just don't sell them. You hold on to it. And why now is always a great time to invest. You don't wait in real estate. You've got to get in now, because it's returns like this that you can't get in the market if you're invested at a bank, or even if you are maybe, doing stocks. That's a bit of a unpredictable environment. You don't know, and it's up and down, up and down. Here, you hold on to it and you don't sell, even when it's not doing well, because 2008 wasn't probably the best time, but if you held on to it, you've profited.
yeah, and one thing to note, Andrea, like we advocate for people to partner. So say these returns, these 227 and 238 percent was split in half. That is 100 and almost 20% or 115%
Yeah, 150.
return when you split it in half over that time period. I mean, even when you look at that return and you divide it by 10 years, that's say 15% a year. You
Mhm.
still, by splitting it in half, are still doing better than a lot of the investments that are out there and options at the banks to be able to um, gain a return on your money.
And
So
we were only showing the returns just simply here on the asset growing. We don't take into consideration, Kemba, other things that we're going to speak to, like the mortgage pay down, cash flow, because these are phenomenal cash flowing properties.
exactly,
So,
exactly. So
yeah.
there's more there to split up and to share when you think of that.
Mhm.
And now when we talk about rule number 4, how to identify investment properties, the best fit for you. So don't speculate. Don't just go out there thinking, I'm just going to throw a dart at it and that's the property I'm going to land on. That's the property I want. We talk about planning, we talk about goals, but we also say don't speculate. Make sure that you understand the numbers involved in buying and renting and renovating and all the different aspects of investing, especially the path you choose. make sure you get a good understanding of how to calculate those numbers, because you never want to end up short. You want to make sure that you come out in the right end. So this is just an example of an actual property in 2019. The rents, the property costs, so taxes, utilities, insurance, property management, maintenance, the mortgage, and any line of credit that was used to purchase it, and still what's left over is the cash flow. So when you see a property cash flowing like this, you're like, wow, that's amazing. And so it's better that you go in this way than going into a property where, say, even if you have to put money in, it just depends and can you afford it. But you want to understand and be prepared for whatever that commitment you're establishing at the beginning, and it doesn't overwhelm you. You're able to manage it. So we just want you to plan for the numbers that you're going to have to be responsible for. Cash flow is something we always look for, and we want, that's one of our goals for investing. And we can talk to you about how to set your own goals, but definitely don't speculate. Make sure you know what you're getting into. And rule number 5, always invest with a long-term perspective in mind. Andrea, when we think of the types of real estate investments that are out there, there are some short-term investments which are like maybe mortgages or flips and so on. But in general, even if you're doing a flip, you want to understand what's that going to do for me and my long-term goals, right? So you want to think about what is this opportunity going to make a difference to my life, and how it's going to help me get to the next step and the next step. And that beach house that we
And it has to be long-term for some, like to us, long-term could just mean 3 to 5 years, the term of the mortgage, right? So you're committed already in that regard, so that if you are doing it for other than long-term, then you have to set the numbers, with the bank or with the lenders to be something more flexible, like a 6 months or a 1 year or 2 year period, because otherwise you're going to incur a lot of fees and costs. And so long-term perspective makes sense in real estate. Plus, if the market takes a turn and you bought all condos and you were, sort of hit by COVID in the last year, that condo or those condos would have really been very challenging to sell in this market.
Yeah. And, many of us had challenges through COVID, and it's still here, it's still existing. But I think the better you buy to begin with, the more you're able to weather these challenges over time. So
that's right. We're not losing.
Yeah.
We're definitely gaining, and it's important to build that long-term perspective.
Mm-hmm. So some of the points that you need as an investor to think about as you sort of plan and look at the numbers and analyze what is a return on your investment. So a great return on investment, you'll be looking at your passive appreciation. So how are you building equity over time? Is this property growing? Is it staying flatline in terms of market growth, or what do you expect that property to do? How much mortgage pay down is going to you. So for example, I guess a higher ratio mortgage, you'll have more pay down, but it will be more expensive to start. Cash flow. Andrea, what's that phrase you like to say?
Mm-hmm. Cash is king. Cash.
Yes,
Yeah, cash is king. I never bought a property that did not cash flow, so I don't know what it's like. And if it was cutting too close because interest rates changed, I think there was just one condo that I held like that, and I just sold it. The only person that loved it more was my husband, and I was just like, yeah, it's gotta go. So cash is king. I mean, to me, if you need to worry, if you're trying to build income, if you're trying to ensure that you have money there to take care of expenses and associated costs with that property, if you are concerned about interest rates changing, as they often do, up or down, you can weather the storm with cash flow.
Absolutely. And then lastly, investors and people who are looking to invest in real estate or just buy their first home, it's always important to see, is there an opportunity to improve this value somehow by whether it be a coat of paint or a full renovation? And that forced appreciation is how you can generate income even faster, or generate wealth even faster, by helping to improve and add value to a property. So forced appreciation is that last, what do investors need?
Mm-hmm. So many ways to earn income on your investment.
Yeah, Andrea, why don't you take rule number 6?
So I think it's really important that we understand that when we're investing, that we look at the markets that we're investing in, right? We don't want to, uh, like like Canvas has I highlighted already, it's really important to understand so many different aspects of the numbers. Well, we also want to look at the cities, the locations that we're buying in, and making sure that they will add to the value of your property, so that you're not just buying places just because they're close to home or they're what you're familiar with. Oh, or I bought one property here, so I'm going to buy 3 more. Because if the city or the locale doesn't make sense, it's going to have a substantial impact on your return on that investment. And even, I mean, if you're buying it to build wealth, then it has to be in the right place, and maybe even not just for income and appreciation, but also to rent it. You want to be in places where people will want to rent and pay the kind of rent that you need to carry the cost associated with that property. So especially you have to think about who would be your tenants in that area, because if you're buying and you're thinking, I would never live here, it's likely many others is thinking the same, right? So, and I've said some of it here, like, you've heard the term location, 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 and it really is significant when we're speaking to real estate and buying, right, Kemba? I don't know if I'm taking it over here, but you can continue as well, because I really think that it just builds on what we just said in the previous slide and the previous rule: be market agnostic, right?
Yes, absolutely. And, make sure you're seeing what the housing market is like. So for resale, or for, just what you're purchasing, the economy, the local economy, the local neighborhood, you want to understand what that is, the employment. So, for yourself, if you're going to move to a new area, being able to be employed in that area, or if you're going to have tenants in that area, making sure that they are well employed and have the ability to pay rent. And then, making sure that when you're thinking about real estate, it's never going to be, well, it can be short term, but in general, like we say, have a long term view. Job growth and population growth is something that's important, because it's not necessarily always going to be a 2 or 3 year stint. You may be doing 5 and 10 and 20 years of owning a property. So you want to know that the value will continue to grow, because people want to be there and the economy is growing. And then also check on vacancy rates, so that if it's a high vacancy rate, you may have more challenges renting that property, and you may have to just add a cushion. So a high vacancy rate isn't terrible. You can weather it, but just know you may have to have more times where your property is not tenanted, and therefore you have to cushion yourself. And it's not a great idea, but it can be dealt with. So that's location, location, location. Rule number 8, diversify across markets. So Andrea, you mentioned some of this already in terms of being able to get, you may not want to buy in the same market or the same type of property. So instead of being all in condos or all in one type of investment, having some diversification in what you're doing will help you weather changes in the market, changes in the economy, and maybe even a pandemic or two.
Hopefully not 2, just 1, but maybe many lockdowns, because we've had multiple lockdowns. Yeah, I think that in investing in general, it's very important to diversify, not just in real estate, but absolutely in real estate. Having a diversified portfolio for us has allowed us to still continue to be successful during the pandemic. And probably we can weather, I don't want to have to go through another pandemic, but many other adversity that could hit us. So it's really important. We've diversified our portfolio in terms of style. We have single residential homes to duplexes to multi-units, condos, and we are not just diversified in terms of the types of properties that we hold, but the locations that we are in. We are in Alberta, we are in Kingston, different parts of Ontario, London, and it's important to keep that in mind as well. And all of those locations, there are different factors that have brought us and attracted us there. And many of them we discussed already, right? Yeah. And of course, because we are not superheroes, we want to use professional property managers to make sure that our properties are well cared for, no matter where we are or where we live in relation to them. I think that even if your property is close to you, if you know your why and you're building this and you're building wealth and real estate to help you build freedom of time and freedom of money and all of that, you may want to pay for the 7 to 10% that it costs to have great professional management that will continue to take care of the property as if it was you, right?
Yeah.
They will help you to tenant, they will help you to take care of repairs and issues. You don't have to be worried at 2 a.m. if you're going to get a call from a tenant who, is having no lighting, or the plumbing is giving them issues, or maybe there's whatever it is that they could be experiencing. Let that be your property manager's responsibility, and that's what you pay them for. As well as when, tenants leave or give notice, you don't have to be running 2 hours or an hour away to show and help tenant that property.
Yeah.
Right?
And Andrea, you mentioned superheroes at the beginning. I think we are. My daughter just did a Mother's Day card and called me and grandma superhero. So I think I am a superhero now.
Well, absolutely. Why wouldn't we be superheroes to our children? I don't blame them when they see mom and what mom is doing and accomplish. And moms around the globe, moms around the cities, we are amazing women. We are definitely phenomenal in many ways. I just know that I can't be doing this in Alberta, what I do here in Ontario, and sometimes getting to London and Kingston and all these other locales. It's not reasonable. Not if I want to be there with those little people who see me as a superhero.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't wait to invest in real estate. Invest in real estate and wait. And we've probably already alluded to this because we are telling you that do it now, do it during the pandemic. Don't wait, don't let time pass. It doesn't matter, the market is high or low, it's still a good time. Okay. And we've showed that has been proven time and time again to us, Kemba, because there was no one time that we thought it was cheap to get in. Never.
No,
It was
always
always
been
expensive.
expensive, for sure.
Yes.
And invest with cash flow. Invest with
I think
cash.
we said this before, maybe.
We did, but it's an important point to reiterate. So
Absolutely.
making sure that, and we call cash the glue that holds it together. So, a lot of people ask, well, how are you able to buy multiple properties? Well, when there's cash flow, and you look at your portfolio, or you look at the property that you own, the banks are more willing to lend to you for another property because the property that on its own will carry itself. And that is basically the bottom line. That property is making enough money to carry the costs and carry all the maintenance and everything, mortgage everything, and still have some money left over. And that allows the banks to see you as a good investment, and they will allow you to buy more property. Basically.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
They like income, like you.
Yes.
And so to build, I think for our portfolio, like we've showed you time and time again, how important return on investment is. More than once or so in the presentation, we shared with you how your property can grow by 5%, you can have earnings of 10%, but look at this, 45% return on investment. And this is not just one area. We're showing you all the areas. When you look at your, the 4 areas that Kemba mentioned before, your cash flow, your appreciation, both passive and active, what you've done to improve the property, all of those things, the mortgage pay down, add to this 45% return. And to me, this is phenomenal. One of the reasons you want to invest in real estate is the types of return that you can, so you're now making your money work harder for you than you're working hard for your money, and having cash flow, we've said more than once, is significant, right? So that was one property out in Alberta. This is another property that we have here in Ontario, in London, where again, it's got phenomenal, return on investment. 27% return year over year is amazing. As well as you can see that it also cash flows substantially. This property was bought and acquired by us in 2019 at $800,000, which was pretty good then too. That was an amazing price. It's a 6 unit. And then, without even, coming to our 2-year anniversary, I guess now we're at our 2-year anniversary almost, we have the property being valued in and around the $1.2 million mark, and it's just phenomenal gains. Nothing different that we've really done other than having it property managed and cared for and keeping it tenanted, and it's just sort of done its thing. So your money will work harder for you when you buy into good investments that gave great returns and cash flow.
Absolutely. Last but not least, rule number 11. So we did not do this just with our eyes closed and imagining that we could. We educated ourselves. We learned a lot. We asked a lot of people. We did countless courses and countless
Coaching,
coaching.
seminars.
And I think that what we want to share is that if you want to achieve big things, you sometimes have to find the people who've done it before you and learn from them, build your knowledge. Whether you work with us here at Keen, Andrea and I have a lot of knowledge, regardless of who you work with or who you find out, all the secrets that you need to know. It's important that you do educate yourself so that you can learn and grow and be confident to get into real estate and be successful. So I used to have a mug that said, learn from the mistakes of others. You can't make them all yourself. And so I think that as we learn and we grow, we can teach you things to avoid and things to make sure that you're successful. Agreed?
Yes, absolutely. There's absolutely no reason why you have to repeat the same mistakes as someone else that can teach you how to bypass those, right? So we offer real estate coaching. And so really there is probably very few people that have been very successful without having a coach along the way. You are maybe not familiar with a skill or a sport or a dance, you're definitely going to look to possibly get a coach to help you improve and get better at that if you want to be successful in that sport or that dance or that event, right? So you can choose to be coached with us, and we're absolutely excited to work with anyone that is looking to get into homeownership and own for themselves or own for investing or own for a legacy, because we have people that just come and they just want to buy something to leave for their children or something that can help fund their retirement. So let us coach you, right?
Absolutely.
And we'll show you how we can do that.
Yes. And so, unconventional ways to own real estate, fixing your credit, because sometimes we're starting from that point, and that's an important thing to get straight. Securing your deposit, figuring out locations to buy, how to analyze locations, how to know that you're going to cash flow, making sure that you have an understanding of that property, and then just creating successful partnerships and establishing your team. Because Andrea and I are a team, and we have a team of people out there that we work with to make sure that we're successful too. And we can introduce you to that team, and we can help you build your own team, but making sure that you have the people out there that you need to be successful.
Yeah, you need to be empowered with the advice and expertise of all those experts out there that have knowledge that you don't.
Yes. And so what does this look? Oh, let's see what...
This is one of our recent testimonies.
The Keen Real Estate Group has been such a blessing. Their 12-session coaching program started me on my way to building a legacy.
Yay.
And that's what we want to do. We want to help you build your legacy or help you build your asset base and net worth, however you feel that could look, whether it's 1 or 2 or 10 properties, we can help you do that. So buying your first or next, with the confidence and coaching that we provide over the 12, we offer a program that can take you through the training and the expertise and all those we mentioned other experts outside of ourselves, and we ensure that we bring all of that to you. So we provide the world's best real estate training in a condensed way, within 24 hours of online coaching and digital presentations. You're going to be able to acquire the knowledge that you need to make your first or next purchase. We have tonight, we're offering a bonus of after taking this session, we just feel that we want to reward you for, taking the time to listen and to participate in this program. We're going to offer a $600 value, 12 additional guides or 12 practical guides to help you additionally in your real estate journey. We have a bonus, our community, which really is invaluable. We can't put a number to that because having a community, having others who have done it before you or who are doing it alongside you, who just support and provide mentorship and positive, yeah, you can do it, and cheering you on, sort of that community is necessary. You have to associate with like-minded individuals in order to be successful.
And not just cheering you on, but answering questions too.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely, because that's part of what you need is when you come across something that you're not sure, you're unfamiliar, you want to be able to have that resource and that ability to reach out to someone who can help you. We have lifetime access to this digital course and this online portion, as well as, you will always have access to us through our Facebook group and our podcast and all of our other educational tools that we offer. And of course, you're getting a real estate investment worth $300,000, $500,000, whatever the amount is that you decide to afford based on your pre-approval, and we will show you how to accomplish that. And the value of that is $17.97. But tonight we're going to offer to you, if you're doing this, you're going to get it at a 50% discount, which is substantial. I mean, to get 50% off anything, I might go to the store and it's 50% off. I'm totally excited. I'm buying one, maybe even two, or I'm going to at least tell my friends about it and make sure that they too can, take advantage of this opportunity. So we have, as we've explained, all of these, all of the the training and hours and the digital course and the bonuses all available to you at $597 instead of 11 or
Andrea, would you spend $597 to make 300,000 or more?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would do it every time over. If someone can show, and that 300,000 I know is going to grow because we've showed it over that 10-year challenge. It's easily going to grow to over $500,000 right. So these are your payment options. You could pay one time, which is $597 plus HST, or if you need it to be split up, you could do it in 3 payments of $225 plus HST and be on your way to amassing your, multi-million-dollar portfolio, starting with your first.
There you go. We also have the bonus tonight, which is our credit repair. It's a one-on-one, and so if credit is really important to be establishing yourself in real estate. Even just renting, it's important, but it helps you and it can help.
Important in everything. I can't think of anything. Insurance, whether you want car insurance or you want a cell phone, they want to do a credit check.
Yeah, and if you have great credit, that's fantastic. But guess what? Some partners who you might want to work with in your family, in your life, may not, and this could even be helpful to them. So it's something that you can share and help to get everybody going and ready to partner at some point to buy real estate with you. We also have the one-on-one credit repair session that is valued at $150. So you can have a one-on-one session with one of our partners who will help you understand and build and repair your credit as well. And
also help you build towards that mortgage as well, because they offer the mortgage lending and advice also. So it's a 2-in-1. So our real estate coaching course is available. If you go to our website, you can, Kemba, maybe just type this in the chat. I don't know for anyone that has ended up joining us, you can cut and paste this, but really it's keengroup.ca, /Keene Silver Program. I mean, in the near term, I guess we'll be sort of revising that, but the coupon code is I'm Keene, Kean. So I am Kean 2021, and that is your discount code to take advantage of that 50% off and getting it at the $597. Now is decision time. Okay, if you haven't made a decision yet, or you've been sitting on the fence, I don't know, I want to buy, I'm not sure. For every month, week, year, day, whatever that goes by, nothing gets cheaper or easier. It's the same. So let's just agree that we got to get going now, and we can help you get on that journey.
Absolutely. So now's the time. If you have questions, we'd love to hear and answer any questions you have. I know we have a small group tonight, but we can definitely answer some questions. You want to type it in the chat or just say hello? We'd be happy to hear. No? Okay, we understand.
Tonight. That's
Yeah.
okay. So we also offer, you can always get it through our website. If you need a discovery or strategy call, you can always book us for a 15 or 30-minute session. And we are thrilled to spend some time answering your questions, showing you how we can provide some, knowledge and information that can help you get started or get going. And even if if you're looking at ways to just gather knowledge, we also have on our website a lot of a lot of educational tools that are available to you at no cost. So definitely check us out at our Instagram page, Keen on You, or on our Facebook group that is Keen Club. And we're happy to, build relationships with you that would last long term.
So thank you for joining us, and we hope if you're taking in the recorded session, you have any questions, we'll post the links so you can reach out to us or book a session with us, and come learn and come build a real estate portfolio that you can be proud of and that will help you and your generations to come. We look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Good night or good day, whatever time you're watching. Oh, hi, Haley. No problem.